Okay, welcome everyone. It's an official thing. So declaration of opening of tonight's forum meeting is made at 5:30 p.m. for the member of the public. This is a question and answer night, so it's not a decision making night. So councillors get to ask questions. Staff provide always professionally and do a good answer. So then we can make a decision next week. And if we've got any queries in between time, we can come up with those during the week and have them answered. Welcome councillors and welcome staff. So item number 2 is opening procedures. So item 2.1 is acknowledgement of country. So we are on beautiful Ballawong land, so the Shire of Northern would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians on the land on which we meet, and we pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging. And just to note that we also extend to the Whadjuk country in the west of the Shire. So item 2.2, this is for the camera and anyone online. We're recording council meetings. So members of the council and members of the public are aware, or the gallery are advised this meeting will be live streamed and all audio recorded and made available on the Shire of Northern's YouTube channel, which you can subscribe to. If any member of the public wants to access the recording of the meeting, they can do so via the Shire of Northern website. And I'm just going to double check that the recording's all good. So if anyone's watching live, welcome to tonight's meeting. So you know it's a question and answer night as well. So item number 3 is attendance. So we have 7 councillors sitting around the table who will be noted. We have apologies from a couple, so we'll get to that in a minute. And all the staff listed are in attendance as well. So item 3.2 is apologies. So we do have an apology from Councillor Gierak, he's unable to make it tonight. And we've got an apology from Councillor Ryan, who will be arriving late, so has apologised for the time until Councillor Ryan arrives. When Councillor Ryan comes into the room, it'll be noted at what time that is. So item 3.2 is apologies, is nil. So we go to page 7. Item 3.3, approved leave of absence, that is nil. Item 3.4, absence, that is nil. So item number 4 is disclosure of interest. We're on page 8. So I do have a couple, and councillors are well aware as the item comes up, they're able to present them as that item comes up, and these will be declared next week on decision making night. So item 12.1, Bushfire Advisory Committee meeting held on the 26th of March 2024. President Antonio, that's me, has declared impartiality. Recommended bushfire control officers listed in the report are known to President Antonio, including Brother Paul Antonio. So that is minimal. So item 13.1.3, request fee waiver, Wheatbelt Futures Forum. Councillor Williams has declared impartiality. Councillor Williams is the Shire's elected member representative on the Northern Chamber of Commerce Board. The Chamber is requesting the waiver. Minimal impartiality, the position is voluntary and unpaid. So the same item, so we'll do a couple of these. It's just for noting purposes, Councillor Gierak has declared impartiality. That'll be for next week, so that'll be recorded when Councillor Gierak attends. Councillor President Antonio has declared impartiality. Members of the Northern Chamber of Commerce who requested fee waiver are known to President Antonio, so that's minimal. Same item, 13.1.3, Councillor Appleton has declared impartiality. Members of the Northern Chamber of Commerce are known to Councillor Appleton. Same no. Next item, 13.3.1, review of health and building policies. Councillor Hughes has declared impartiality. Policy H.6.9, trading on thoroughfares at public places. Councillor Hughes' daughter has a coffee van and trades at events throughout the Shire of Northern. So note that's impartial only. And there's one here for an item called behind closed doors, which we'll get to when it's not being recorded. And I do have a couple more. If councillors just let me know which items, I can do that during the item. It
would be 12.1, bushfire advisory.
12.1, Councillor Williams declaring impartiality, so we'll detail that properly. And Councillor Bolton,
13.1.3.
13.1.3, which is the request of the fee waiver. Yes. And Councillor Mentelli as well. So we'll get those and read those out in due course, if not this week, next week, before we make a decision. So we go to page 9, item number 5 is announcements by the presiding member. That's without discussion. So take that as read, and that goes over a couple of pages. Then we go to page 12, item number 6 is public questions. Now I'm still going to do this anyway. Look at the member of the public. So have you got any questions you'd like to ask?
Just curious on when the decision would be available to chamber on the waiver.
So the decision will be made next week. So as soon as the meeting's held, if you attend, you'll know straight away. Otherwise, you'll be advised the next at 8:30 the next morning, start of business hours. Even if you have to phone up and ask, but the decision will be made in public next week.
Thank you.
So item number 7 is response to previous public questions taken on notice. That was the chair of the CEO of the Northern Chamber of Commerce for anyone online, just in case they're looking at it. So item number 7 is response to previous public questions taken on notice. That is nil. Item number 8 is receiving of petitions, presentations and deputations. 8.1 petitions, that is nil. 8.2 presentations, that is nil. 8.3 deputations. Deputations, we do have a member of the public, so deputations where you can apply to make a statement. So I don't think you're making one tonight. You're quite welcome to do that for next week if you so do so desire. So we have on page 13 still, item number 9 is applications for leave of absence. So we've got one here from Councillor Hughes. Is there any questions on that? 'Cause we'll make a decision on that next week. No questions or clarifications? That's pretty straightforward. So item number 10 is confirmation of minutes. So we have the ordinary council meeting held on the 20th of March 2024. Just wanted to see if there was any questions on that, councillors, from last month's ordinary council meeting. No, so we go to page 14. Then we have 10.2, which is notes from the council forum meeting held on the 10th of April, which is tonight. So I'll deal with that next week, and I'll also I'll have an opportunity for councillors to ask questions if there's any clarifications. Now we're still on page 14. So item number 11 is items brought forward for the convenience of those in the public gallery. So we're going to go to page 141. Which is item 13.1.3, request for fee waiver, Wheatbelt Futures Forum. Just a reminder that on this item, Councillor Williams has declared impartiality, Councillor Polton has declared impartiality as members of the Chamber of Commerce. I know to Councillor Polton. Councillor Garrett, which will be dealt with next week. President Antonio has declared impartiality. Councillor Appleton has declared impartiality, and Councillor Mancelli has declared impartiality in that item. So everyone's aware of that. So what we'll do with this item, 13.1.3, we'll see if there's any questions on this, councillors. Yeah, Councillor Appleton. No.
Do we know if the Wheatbelt Futures Forums are intending to use a Shire building in the future? And if so, can we ask them to apply to the Community Grants Committee for a fee waiver in the future?
I would anticipate the Wheatbelt Futures Forum will continue, and it is possible that that will be in a Shire facility. And yes, we can certainly another way of doing the fee waiver, although we do need to understand whether it would fit with the grants process.
Can I have a follow-up question to that then? So what Councillor Appleton is asking is there another organisation that's already got a similar fee structure like this event that's already in the budget? It's probably a loaded question because I know the answer. I think I know the answer. So, I'll rephrase the question then. Is the Directions Workflow Solutions, they do an annual or biannual employment event at one of their facilities? Do organisations like that, is that in the budget to cover their fee request waiver?
Yes, so certainly for the future we can consider whether we put the fee waiver into the budget or whether we do it as part of the sponsorship. The only thing is that it wasn't available on this year's budget.
So further questions, councillors? No. So, quite welcome to stay and enjoy our hospitality and just go through the rest of the meeting. I brought it forward that if you do want to go, you can go at any stage without reference to us.
I really appreciate that. I'll stay for a bit longer now. It's been a very long day.
So we now go back to page 14. So we have item number 11 is items brought forward. Then we go to page 15, which is item number 12, reports of committee meetings. Item 12.1 is Bushfire Advisory Committee meeting held on the 26th of March. So we've got both the minutes and the recommendations. And just a reminder, Antonio and Councillor Williams, I've just read Councillor Williams because we haven't read it yet, are members of the brigades nominated as bushfire control officers and known to Councillor Williams, that's in Marshall, and the same for Councillor Hughes. Some of the bushfire officers are known to Councillor Hughes. Yeah, that's just those ones as well. So questions on either the minutes or the recommendations, councillors? Oh, okay, sorry. And Councillor Appleton is going to put in his declaration of impartiality for this item as well. It looks like Councillor Polden is as well. So it's all the same item. So questions on this? If not, then I'll go with my questions. I see the very first motion was about the amended minutes, and they weren't accepted until they could be confirmed. Like there was something like that. So the question I probably got, I'm not worried about that, is because as we're recording council meetings now, and this is the committee of council, should that be recorded for accuracy so we don't get this situation again, or am I misreading why the minutes were questioned?
So my understanding is that there were some changes that were requested to the minutes. Those changes were made, but they weren't recirculated to the Bushfire Advisory Committee members. So that was the reason why they weren't adopted on the night. But we can certainly look at recording the minutes. Noting we don't take verbatim minutes, but we can certainly look at recording the minutes for future meetings.
And in Alex Estey's report, there was just a couple of queries. There's a QR code that was for, from what I understood, that was for reporting if someone was doing something wrong, basically. So is that just for officers, or is that for members of the public as well? Just couldn't quite understand that.
This aim is for officers, but also bushfire control officers as well. So, or any members of the brigade. It is for members of the brigade, but it's generally done through a bushfire. So we're not looking to roll it out for the public at this stage, but yeah, it's just generally for our bushfire volunteers.
That was sort of the follow-up question. Should it be the QR code be made available? But no, it's just sort of half in turn. And the fire danger rating signs, there was a comment about we're going to be the same as the whole district. It seems to create a bit of discussion. So I was just trying to get my head around understanding that. Is there a problem with doing it for the whole district versus just the Shire?
The problem is that we, at the moment, all the public information, generally public information like University WA and Bolton, etc., displays the Avon fire districts, which includes Northern, York, Cunnan, Meckering, and Meckering. But these also, you get an individual fire rating for each local government. So some days might be a moderate day across the board. Generally, that's not an average. Northern might be high, but we are deemed to be at the moderate level because we go with what the average across the local governments are. And that's where the confusion is. Going out to each individual local government having their own fire danger rating would be very problematic. We'd have to change all the Emergency WA website, because that's where we formally want to find out what the information is. So, yeah, it's a little bit complicated.
Yeah, but people we do it.
What we're saying is that to display what general public can access quite easily, what we promote in terms of the Avon.
Yeah, thank you. And just one question, it's probably from feedback from the community on page 27 in Siobhan's, I think I've said that right, Siobhan's report. just mention about the summer vegetation spraying, that's just saying what's done and what's not done. Is that communicated to the public? Because that's the queries of councillors we get quite often in the summer. Quite often it's negative feedback, but if we know what's going on, we can explain it then to the public, know that we're getting rid of noxious weeds or trees or things like that. So how is that communicated probably is the way?
In terms of that, Siobhan's role and in terms of the bushfire risk management coordination, we do minimal spraying during summer. That's probably more during the department in terms of any noxious weeds. So yeah, most of the funding that was included in that report is for fire breaks, etc. So generally done. So,
Yeah. Thanks. I'm glad you can too. So any other questions, councillors? No? So, sorry, Kathy, just if anyone asks a question. So we now go to page 58. So item 13 is officer reports. 13.1 is the CEO's office. 13.1.1 is governance officer of the CEO policy review. Now all these ones up tonight we did have workshops on, so I was just going to see if there's any queries on this one. Yep, Councillor Williams.
In the D11 council members training and continuing professional development, they talk about training and professional development allocations that each councillor has, and that you can actually not have enough left. Have we actually got individual ones? Because I always just thought the budget was a pool. It's mentioned several times in the pool policy.
Yes, the budget is a pool.
So will that mention of the allocations be that will actually change a fair bit of the policy as it's written, because it talks about having to pay the money back or not having enough money in your own allocation or whatever. So could that be amended prior to the meeting then?
Yes, we can amend it so that it reflects that it's done on a pool basis.
Further questions on this policy? Councillors? Or this item, I should say. This item? No? No? So then we go to page 84. So I was just looking at the notes. So 13.1.2, disposal of 116 lot 555 Peel Terrace Northern. Just with this one, there's a confidential part, councillors, so if you're going to ask questions, just be aware not to reveal the confidential part, please. So, but questions? I've got to ask one, just so there's one question, and I'm pretty well. I've actually got two questions. It definitely is one title, so it looks like there's one title in there. It's in the report, so just come on, now, Colin. One title? It's purely one title, isn't it? It's only one title. Yes. Yeah, so I was buttering myself. And I don't know if it's in there, so what's the proposed timeline?
So the tender documentation will be finished probably over the next couple of weeks. So we anticipate advertising, I would say mid-May at the latest.
I would hope it would be at the end of April, so the intention is once it gets endorsed by council, we would be going out to tender as soon as possible, because we do want to try and get it sold if we can.
So it's pretty brave question, so it'll be sold within the next 6 months, hopefully.
Hopefully.
Hope.
Provided we get it.
Yeah. There's other factors in it. Yeah. So it's not like a year or 2 year project. It's within 6 months. So further questions on this item, councillors? Yes, Councillor Wafferton first.
It mentions by putting it up to public tender that it's a way to ensure that the land is given to the most appropriate purpose for that land. Whose decision is it to make, or whose decision is it to approve who is most likely to have that land at the end of the day?
So given that it's a tender, it will come back to council to make a decision on the outcome of the tender. So officers will obviously make a recommendation, but it will come back to council.
Yep. Thank you. Councillor Bolton.
Has council considered leasing it out instead of selling it?
This might come under our land disposal. I don't know, that's a long time ago. We remember we had the land disposal policy. So,
Yes, and can we include it as a seal within the 23-24 budget? So it's been budgeted for a seal and as such the revenue from it has been expended within the current budget.
further questions, councillors? No? Okay, so we now go to page 144. So 13.2 is engineering services, 13.2.1 commemorative memorials and plaques in reserves policy. We did have a workshop on this as well. Questions on this, councillors? Yep, Councillor Williams.
Can't find the actual bit at the moment, but it does say that with a tree, if the staff are busy, that they would get contractors to do the planting of the tree. I was just wondering what the cost of getting contractors in versus Shire staff would be, not necessarily a dollar amount. Would it be much more expensive to get contractors in than Shire staff actually planting the trees?
Well, I think that's probably just just in case. It would be more expensive because it's outside the scope of what we would usually get our tree contractor to do. So I think we probably in most instances try and make sure that we've got someone available to plant. I would say that's just a clause that's put in there as a bit of a fallback, and as it just in case.
Further questions, councillors? I just thought I saw hands moving, so I was just going. So no more questions on that one. 13.2.1. We now go to page 157. So 13.3 is development services. 13.3.1 review of health and building policies. Any questions on this, councillors? No. So we did have a workshop on that, so some questions were answered at that time. We now go to page 177. So 13.4 is corporate services. 13.4.1 is account and statement of accounts, March 2024. Normally the questions are going in. I haven't seen any go in or any answers being provided, but is there any urgent questions for this, councillors? I do have someone I'm going to send into the staff. Yep, Councillor Lynn Kelly.
I've just got one question in regard to a payment to facility, AZILITY, and it's for a full year, of course. I'm just wondering what it is.
Yes, facilities are utility payment system. Also tracks our environmental, so it's a major environmental tool for electricity, water, gas and fuel. And we they pay our bills for it and as part of it, and then we put all the data in, and then environmental services use the software to pull out the environmental data for the Shire.
Thank you.
Sorry, Councillor, just neglected to say that the previous item just reminded the council to use declared partiality.
When you missed it.
I came back to it.
You read that before.
Yeah, back to it next week. So councillors normally send these in via a spreadsheet to the staff. So unless you've got any urgent questions, no. So that's that item. Then we go to page 232. So 13.4.2 financial report for the period ending 31 March 2024. Any urgent questions on this, councillors? I'll pre-warn you, Colin, I'll probably type in a question about rates or something. I normally ask that one. So any other questions, councillors? So no. So we go to page 248. So 13.5 is community services. 13.5.1 is Avon Tourism Alliance memorandum of understanding, or as it's written in the report, MOU. So questions on this, Councillor Williams?
I'm just wondering, because there used to be Avon Tourism, which was, I think, same local governments, and they actually had a strategy and a website. I was just wondering if any of that information from previously has been retained, or whether this will be a whole new strategy.
Do you know?
Not totally sure about that. My understanding was that the previous Tourism Alliance was disbanded, but I can certainly follow up to see if any of that information has been held over into this group here. Yeah.
Further questions? I just had a question here, the standard MOU, so it's a standard memorandum of understanding, the way I look at it, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Further questions, councillors? No? So we go to page 25H. So 13.5.2, recognition of high achievers policy. So questions on this? I think there will be some debate next week, so I was just seeing if there's any questions this week. No? No, so no questions. Then we've got matters behind closed doors, so I'm just going to go to page 268. So there's a recommendation there that we move behind closed doors.
Yeah.
So I saw Councillor Hughes and Councillor Appleton. Councillor Hughes moved, Councillor Appleton seconded. It's procedural, so I put it straight to the vote. So all those in favour? That's 7-0. Just had to count the council. 7-0, that's carried. So we can just pause the recording. Yeah, we have a debate next week, if we do any questions next week. Okay, so we've got, did the recording start again? So we've got on page 268, item 15, motions which previous notice has been given, that's nil. Item 16 is urgent business approved by decision, that is nil. Item number 17, declaration of closure, is made at 6:13 p.m. As usual, I say thank you to staff for all